let's get one thing clear. If he pulled away, went cold, stopped texting, or suddenly needed space, it's not because you weren't pretty enough, smart enough, or loving enough. In fact, chances are it wasn't about you at all. It was about what you gave too freely, too soon, and what that did to the dynamic between you. You see, most people are taught that the way to win someone's heart is to show up completely, to be generous, to prove your value, to be the one who cares more. And while being kind and loving is never wrong, giving too much before someone has earned access to your heart creates a dangerous imbalance. It tells the other person, I'm already all in. You don't need to do anything more. And what does that do? It takes away the mystery, the chase, the challenge. It removes the emotional friction that naturally builds attraction. When someone hasn't invested in you, but gets all of you, your time, your attention, your affection, your energy, they don't have to work for your love. And human nature is wired to value what we work for. If he didn't have to earn your presence, he won't feel the weight of your absence. That's the hard truth. He may have thought, she's amazing, she's beautiful, she's loyal, but if he didn't feel the need to fight for your space in his life, he didn't fully value it. Not because you aren't worth it, but because we only truly value what we fear losing. When you were too available, too emotionally accessible, too responsive at every moment, even when he didn't deserve it, you gave him a VIP pass to something he didn't have to qualify for. And just like that, the power dynamic shifted. It's not about playing games. It's about preserving your energy and recognizing when it's being taken for granted. Attraction isn't built by constant availability. It's built by presence and absence, by interest and space. When someone feels like they can have you anytime, they stop showing up for you the way they did in the beginning. They stop chasing, stop appreciating, stop giving effort because they've mentally labeled you as safe. And safety too, early in a connection, without the foundation of real emotional investment, kills attraction. So if he walked away, if he ghosted, if he faded out, stop blaming yourself for not being enough. Start asking yourself what you gave before he earned it. Did you drop your life to make time for him? Did you compromise your standards just to keep him happy? Did you stay quiet when you should have spoken up just to avoid losing him? That's not love. That's fear. That's self-abandonment. The truth is, when a man doesn't have to question whether or not he has you, he won't question whether or not he wants you. He'll coast. He'll assume you're always there. And the second he thinks there are no consequences for pulling away, he'll do it over and over again until you remind him who you are. So what's the shift? You stop being easy access. You stop overgiving. You stop auditioning for someone who hasn't even stepped into the role of showing up for you. You reclaim your energy, your presence, your boundaries, and suddenly the man who walked away starts to feel what he never expected to feel: regret. Because the moment you stop chasing and start choosing, you don't just make him come back. Repels. Mystery attracts. It sounds brutal, but it's the truth that separates women who constantly feel like they're chasing love from women who effortlessly draw it in. And the truth is, neediness isn't about being emotional or vulnerable. It's about being emotionally dependent. It's the energy of, I need you to act a certain way so I can feel okay. That energy, men feel it. It's heavy. It's pressure, and it kills attraction faster than anything else. When you're always available, always texting back instantly, always checking in, always asking, what's wrong? Where are we? Are you still into me? What you're unknowingly doing is telling him you don't trust your value. You're telling him you're not the prize. He is. And the moment a man feels like he doesn't need to show up with consistent effort to keep you, he stops. It's not because he's cruel. It's because humans are wired to take the path of least resistance. When you don't require anything from him to earn your attention, he assumes he's already done enough. And without even realizing it, you start chasing him emotionally. You start orbiting around his availability, and that's when things begin to shift. He pulls away, becomes colder, harder to read, not because he doesn't like you, but because you've become predictable. Now let's flip it. When you create space, when you stop being so reactive, so available, so emotionally hungry, you become a mystery again. You become a woman he can't quite read. And that uncertainty is what pulls him back in. Not games, not silence as punishment, just space, just energy that says, I'm good with or without you. That space, it gives him room to wonder, to question, to feel, and most importantly, to miss you. Most women never give a man the chance to miss them. They try to fill every gap, fix every silence, explain every feeling, and in doing that, they rob him of the experience of realizing her absence. And here's the deeper layer of it. When you give a man too much too soon, he might be flattered at first, but it becomes too easy. And what's easy doesn't hold weight. What's constantly in his face loses its shine. But when you step back, not because you're trying to make him chase, but because you respect your own peace more than his attention, that's when you become unforgettable. There's a moment, maybe you felt it, when you realize I've been giving all my energy to someone who hasn't even earned my presence. That's when everything starts to shift. That's when you stop trying to control the outcome, stop chasing the explanation, and instead flip the emotional switch back to yourself. This is how you get him to feel your absence, not just notice it. Because here's what most people get wrong. They think if they say the right thing, send the right message, act cool enough, or play it patient, he'll eventually come back. But men don't come back because you wait quietly in the background. They come back when your energy disappears, when it's no longer focused on them, when they realize you're no longer emotionally available in the way you were before. See, attention is energy, focus is power. And when all of that is flowing in one direction toward him, he can feel it. He knows you're still there, even if you're silent, even if you're pretending to move on. But the second you flip that energy inward, when you start reclaiming your emotional space, something changes in the dynamic. Suddenly, he's not sure where he stands anymore. He starts wondering what you're thinking, who you're talking to, whether or not you've moved on. That emotional pull he used to feel from you, gone. That certainty he used to have that you'd still be around, shaken. And that's when he starts feeling the very thing you were drowning in, doubt. But this shift isn't about revenge or manipulation. It's about alignment, because the version of you who was obsessed with keeping him, who was constantly scanning his moods, reading into texts, changing your behavior to keep the peace, that version of you was disconnected from your own worth. And the moment you reclaim that energy, when you stop wondering if you're too much and start asking if he's even enough for you, you take back your power. That's when the energy flips. That's when he feels it. You start glowing differently. You start walking differently. You stop responding to breadcrumbs and start demanding the full meal without even saying a word. Your silence becomes louder than any text you could send. Your absence becomes more impactful than any apology you could beg for.